be absolutely delighted with the weekend. You know, Man United obviously massive wins, and to do that here in 6 points in 2 games.
Yeah, it's been a massive 2 games for us because our away form has been a bit patchy for a period of time, and only winning can give you the confidence that you can win at any ground and in any situation. And to go 1-0 down here, I've been here many times and I've seen games slip away very quickly from that position, but I think there was a calmness about us in response to that, a mature response, and we scored pretty soon afterwards. And then I don't think we ever looked back in that first half. That was a really strong first half display from us.
You obviously made the decision to bring Sven in from the start. What was the thinking behind that? How pleased were you with his performance?
Well, the thinking behind it, he's done the work. I wouldn't play him if I didn't feel he was physically ready. He's been very dedicated to his recovery. We've seen him put an extraordinary amount of work before he started training with us, and he's been training with us now for 6 weeks, I think. He's had 3 games. He's looked good in those games. Of course, he won't be at his optimum level, but that will come in the following months. But I thought he was ready and physically ready to play and mentally ready to play. He's chomping at the bit to be involved again, and difficult start for him and the team because Tottenham scored, but a great response. I thought he did very well today.
And, I mean, there was a lot of. It seemed like there was a lot of tired players come off the pitch. They put an awful lot in. They put an awful lot in right the way through the Christmas period. Is there any worry that with a big game coming up on Tuesday night, there's a lot of a relatively small group of players have gone to well a lot for you in the last 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, that of course that's something I'm very aware of. I think we went through a spell where we were very inconsistent with our performances and results. So I made a conscious decision to try and be consistent with my team selection to give the best chance to get consistent results. And we've started to win games, so I've been very reluctant to change things and unbalance what's been working for us. And sometimes even within the game that's been evident that I haven't wanted to change the dynamic too much, and I feel like I absolutely have to. So we need to assess how the players feel. We certainly need energetic players for Arsenal. It's going to be a physical game. It's a very quick turnaround. So, but it's the same for Arsenal. If anything, they've had a harder schedule the last few days. So let's see how we feel.
Thanks, Scott. Go to Lee Ryder and then Jordan Cronin.
Did you feel the team are becoming like a bit more streetwise on days like this?
I think we showed qualities of that today. I know a lot was made of that, probably much to my frustration in the Champions League season, because I think that comes as a consequence of winning games, and people jump to conclusions about how we're preparing. I think you saw today that the players' experiences. We've got players that have played in a lot of big games, managing situations very well. I thought we defended in the main very well today. I thought they had one spell of chances, but other than that, relatively quiet for us. I thought, we did manage the game in the end very well. All the injuries we had were genuine in the game. A lot of players coming off. So it was, as the question there, it was a very physical game today.
The character come from behind so early in the game, go on to get 3 points.
Yeah, I think that's the most pleasing thing from today, is how we reacted in that moment. Scoring so quickly after they scored, and then having the maturity and quality in our play to dominate that first half in the way that we did. Really good signs for the future, I think.
The manager's just been in and said that's the most angry he's ever been in his career about the equaliser. How did you see it?
Well, I can't sit here and lie and say I haven't seen it, because I have. It definitely hit Joelinton's arm. I can give you that as well. But I'm not in control of the referee's decision. I believe that his arm's down in a natural position, and I think the referee and the VAR have followed the rules and protocols that are in place, so that's why it's given.
Okay, go to Jordan, Dom, and then across to George.
Yeah, just following that up, Ange said that Tottenham deserved to win and would have that it was a fair and even playing field. I know that's because of the injuries, illness, all the equaliser. Do you agree with that?
I've just got to concentrate on us and Newcastle, and I'm just very proud of the effort that the players have put in, the games that we've won. I thought we were dominant in the first half today. I thought it could and possibly should have been more in that first half period. Yes, Tottenham played well in the second half, and they brought on some quality players and pushed us back at times, but we did enough to get over the line.
The a lot was made about the away record last season. It wasn't where you probably would have liked to be, but obviously 2 wins on the road this week. Big improvements there. Why is that?
I don't know. We try to approach every game in the same way, and I've said this many times. We don't have a plan for St James's Park and then a different plan for an away game. It's, of course, every game's different, and we do tweak for who we're playing and what we need to do. But you have to at this level. If you don't, I think you're going to get caught out with different systems and different shapes. But the mentality is definitely the same. I think you've seen that in the last few games. I just think we're in a period where we're playing very well and winning games.
Dominic?
Touched on before, the injuries you suffered in the second half were genuine. Just Sven Botman at the end, limped off there. How was he doing?
Yeah, I think just nothing more than cramp for Sven, which is expected with the length of time that he's been out. I think he's a great effort from him to last that long. We were unsure how long he would be able to go for with the speed of the Premier League, but thankfully he got through the majority of the game.
Anthony Gordon obviously took a nasty knock to his nose. How was he?
Yeah, I think that's just a cut, but it was a nasty cut. He had blood all over him, so did well to get back onto the pitch. But yeah, nothing more than that, I don't think.
Thanks, Tom. George?
Really, you talked earlier there about the sort of consistency of selection and having players who know each other on the pitch. How important is it in a game like that, which does start off in a kind of chaotic manner, as Spurs want to do, lots of problems and injury problems? How important is that to kind of get through the game?
Yeah, I think horses for courses. I don't think there's one way of doing it, but I just think at the moment the balance of the team has been really solid. Midfield looked really good again, especially in the first half today. I thought the midfield three, once we got to grips of the early stages of the game, began to dominate that key area of the pitch. And then I think there was good partnerships in the team, even Dan and Sven, although they haven't played together. I think they built up a good partnership there. Physically, they did very well, I thought, against Solanke, who's a very good player. And the partnerships in the team, defensive mentality was very strong today.
Finding different ways to win.
Yeah, and that's a pleasing thing because you have to. It's never a perfect game. You're never going to have everything your own way. We certainly didn't today, but we found a way to come back and get a magnificent win from our perspective. So long may that continue.
Okay, we'll take 3 more. We'll go Tom, Craig and Martin.
Tom Stevens was watching today. We've got a lot of exciting young England players in the team. I just wanted to ask about one who I think most people would be surprised if he managed to get into England for a situation at this point in his career. But Jacob Murphy feels like he's a really unsung hero. He's contributed a lot. And the sort of partnership he's having with Isak is very impressive. How key is he been in this run?
Yeah, he's been very, very important and probably more than people may realise because we ask a lot of Jacob in lots of different ways. Plays an important role, of course. Everyone plays an important role in our pressing. With the ball, he's been brilliant. I mean, the assists and the goals that he's got in the last few weeks Alex probably owes Jacob majority of his goals with his crossing ability, which has always been very strong. But also defensively, we use him in a variety of ways. He's very a versatile player. With Jacob, he's very team orientated as well, and he doesn't get the credit perhaps that he deserves. So it's nice to see that he's getting the assist that's bringing his performances to everyone's attention.
Thanks, Tom. Craig?
Eddie, we first spoke to you about January 5 or 6 weeks ago, and obviously there is the caveat there that you might not be able to do anything, but when we first spoke to you about it, it was from a position of weakness almost. The team needed help. 6-7 games later, it's a position of strength. What's your mindset? Do you strengthen from a position of strength, or do you say actually it's not broken, don't try to fix it right now?
I think you always go into every window, and this is my method, is you try to improve the squad if you can. That has to be your view, otherwise you're going to stand still and regress. But these days it's changed, Craig, as you know, because it's what you can do rather than your want. So we're still in the same position where we're looking at it and going, are we able to do anything? If we're not, we'll go with what we've got. And I always say the players at the club are the most important people. Players are playing well at the moment. Our squad is very thin, really. You look today, that everyone that was fit and available was here with us. So, we're not blessed with a huge array of players, but we have some very, very good ones.
Just quickly go back to the game today, the second half. Was that second half different to what you had done at Man United on Monday? Man United, there was an element of control to it. Was it different second half?
Yeah, I don't think we were totally comfortable in the second half. It wasn't what we wanted it to be. But in saying that, you're never going to have the game as you want it to be for 90 minutes. But can you still be effective when the game's not going in the way that you want it to go. I thought we were a very big counter threat in the game all the way through. I don't think that diminished in the second half. I think that was still there, but we didn't have the control with the ball that we had in the first half. That was Tottenham's domain really, and a bit of a frustration for us and something we look at.
Thanks, Craig. Martin to finish.
Hi, Eddie. There's been big moments on the pitch between yourselves and Tottenham and Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago, and excitable moments between the dugouts as well. Are these now two of your biggest rivals in terms of the clubs that want to emerge and kick on? And if they are, is that why it's so important to beat them?
Yeah, I think there's only respectful rivalries. I don't see that there's no issue. There's just two benches full of people that are desperate to win. So I've got no issue with that. I think we're aware that there's teams in and around us that I wouldn't say consider rivals, but we know how important it is to try and win those games. Got full respect for Tottenham and for Ange and the way that he plays. I think they're a very, very difficult team to play against. Got some very good players, and that's why the win's all the more satisfying for us.
Is the end there with suppose the contrast to Brentford away, which was only a matter of weeks ago, and is that why you stood there a little bit longer perhaps?
I wasn't aware it was longer, but I think Brentford was very difficult, and sometimes when you don't play well, those moments are very, very tough to do, because for me consistency is so important. Whether we win, lose or draw, I always say we will go over and thank our supporters for coming, but it is a lot harder to do in negative moments. But what I do remember going to the Brentford crowd was how good they were with us again. They had every right to probably not be. The majority were absolutely superb with the players. And that's why it's so pleasing that today we're able to reward them with a big 3 points.
And last one on Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall, who've again done very well in a big game, but obviously today in front of the New England manager as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that they were aware of that Thomas was here. Thomas will be well aware of their qualities from not just watching today, but from previous games. All they've got to do is carry on playing as well as they have done this season. I think both players were very good today.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.